The industrial vacuum roars in my ears as I push it across the marble floor of Luminosa, the most exclusive Italian restaurant in Chicago. It's 3 in the morning, and my back already aches from the 5 other buildings I've cleaned tonight, but this one pays the best, so I save it for last when I'm running on fumes and desperation. I'm Camila Torres, 26 years old, and I clean up after people who will never know my name. The vacuum catches on something, and I bend down to free it, my knees cracking in protest. At this rate, I'll need a walker by 30, but rent is due in 4 days, and I'm still $200 short. The electric bill came yesterday, bright red and threatening. And Rosa's medicine, God. I can't think about Rosa's medicine right now, or I'll start crying into this bucket of cleaning solution. My little sister, 9 years old with kidneys that don't work right and a smile that could light up the whole South Side. She's the reason I'm here at 3 in the morning instead of in bed. She's the reason for everything. If you're enjoying this story so far, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Drop a comment telling me where in the world you're watching from. I love hearing from you. I move through the dining room methodically, the way I've learned to move through life one task at a time. Head down, don't think too far ahead. The restaurant is beautiful in the dim security lighting, all dark wood and cream leather, with paintings that probably cost more than I'll make in a lifetime. Crystal chandeliers catch the streetlight from outside, throwing fractured rainbows across the ceiling. This is where the other half lives, the half that doesn't scrub toilets for a living. I'm cleaning around the bar when I notice it, a door slightly ajar at the back of the restaurant. That's strange. Carlos, my supervisor, was very specific about which areas we're allowed to access. Main dining room, bathrooms, kitchen only, he'd said, his face serious. Never go past the kitchen, never go upstairs, never open any closed doors. I should leave it alone. I should finish my work and get out of here. But the door is open, and there's light coming from inside, and I can hear voices, male voices, speaking in rapid Italian. My hand goes instinctively to the ring on my right hand, twisting it the way I do when I'm nervous. It's a habit I've had for 3 years, since the night I found Rosa alone in our apartment, a note pinned to her jacket, and this ring in an envelope beside her. Keep her safe. The ring will protect you both when the time comes. I'm sorry, I can't explain more. I never found out who M was. The police weren't interested in a case involving 2 orphaned girls with no family and no resources. So I raised Rosa myself, worked 3 jobs, and wore this ring every day, because it was the only thing we had from whoever had cared enough to make sure Rosa was safe. The ring is unusual antique gold with an intricate design of intertwined roses and thorns, and in the center, a deep red ruby that seems to glow in certain light. I've never had it appraised. I'm too afraid they'd tell me it's worth something, and then I'd have to decide between Rosa's medicine and the only connection we have to our mysterious benefactor. The voices from the back room grow louder, more heated. I should definitely leave. Instead, I edge closer. Through the cracked door, I can see a slice of an office. More leather, more dark wood, more evidence of wealth. I'll never know. 4 men sit around a table covered with papers and what look like blueprints. They're all in expensive suits despite the late hour, all radiating the kind of casual power that comes from never having to check a price tag. But it's the man at the head of the table who makes my breath catch. He's younger than the others, maybe mid-30s, with thick black hair pushed back from a face that belongs in one of those Italian Renaissance paintings. Sharp cheekbones, strong jaw, a mouth that probably smiles rarely but devastatingly. He wears his authority like a second skin, leaning back in his chair with one hand wrapped around a glass of amber liquid, while the others talk at him. Not to him. Problem isn't going away, Luca. One of the older men is saying in Italian. Vitelli is pushing into the south loop. He's taking The young man, Luca, raises one hand, and the room falls silent instantly. That kind of power isn't given. It's taken and held with an iron fist. Vitelli is a dog barking at a wolf. Luca says, his voice low and smooth and dangerous, like expensive whiskey laced with poison. Let him bark. When he gets close enough, I'll remove his throat. The casual violence in his tone makes my blood run cold. I should go. Right now. Immediately. But I'm frozen, watching him through that crack in the door, something in my chest tightening with a feeling I can't name. Fear, yes, but also something else. Recognition, maybe, like seeing a predator in its natural habitat and understanding exactly what you're looking at. This is not a businessman. This is something much more dangerous. The shipment arrives Thursday. Luca continues, leaning forward now, his dark eyes intense even from this distance. We move it through the usual channels. Anyone who interferes becomes an object lesson in why you don't interfere with my operations. Are we clear? A chorus of agreement. I should definitely, absolutely, without question leave right now. Instead, I shift my weight to get a better view, and my elbow bumps the door. It swings open another 6 inches with a creak that sounds like a gunshot in the quiet restaurant. 5 heads turn toward the door as one. 5 pairs of eyes lock onto mine. Oh God. Oh God, oh God, oh God. Who the fuck is that? One of the men barks, half rising from his chair. But Luca doesn't move. He just stares at me, his expression unreadable, those dark eyes pinning me in, placed like a butterfly on a board. Then his gaze drops to my hands, specifically to my right hand, where the ring sits on my middle finger. Something happens to his face. The color drains from it like water from a broken glass. His knuckles go white around his whiskey tumbler, and when he speaks, his voice is barely audible. Where did you get that ring? I can't breathe, can't think, can't do anything but stand there in my stained cleaning uniform with my hair in a messy bun, trapped in the spotlight of his attention. I'm sorry. I stammer in English, my tongue clumsy with panic. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm just the cleaning crew. I'll go. I didn't see anything. I won't say anything. The ring. He's on his feet now, moving toward me with the fluid grace of something that knows how to hurt people efficiently. Where did you get that ring? My hand instinctively covers it, protective. It was given to me 3 years ago. I don't. Luca, one of the other men warns. We should. Everyone out. Luca doesn't take his eyes off me. Now. But the meeting. Now. The command cracks like a whip. The 4 men exchange glances, then file out through another door, leaving me alone with him. With this man who looks at me like I'm a ghost, like I'm something impossible and terrible and fascinating all at once. He stops 3 feet away, close enough that I can smell his cologne, something dark and expensive with notes of cedar and smoke. Close enough that I can see the fine lines at the corners of his eyes, the shadow of stubble along his jaw, the pulse beating in his throat. That ring, he says, his voice rough now, stripped of its earlier smoothness. My sister wore that ring. I gave it to her for her 18th birthday. She was wearing it the night she disappeared 3 years ago. The world tilts sideways. 3 years ago. The same time Rosa appeared with a note and a ring and no explanation. I found my little sister with this ring, I whisper, puzzle pieces clicking into place with sickening clarity. She was alone in our apartment. Someone left her there with a note saying the ring would protect us. There was no name, just an initial, M. Marina. The word is a prayer and a curse. Her name was Marina. He reaches for my hand, and I should pull away, should run, should do anything but let this dangerous stranger touch me. But his fingers are gentle as they lift my hand to the light, as they trace the ring's intricate design with something like reverence. She designed it herself, he says quietly. Roses for our mother, thorns for our father, ruby for the blood that binds family. His eyes lift to mine, and there's an ocean of grief in them, of rage barely contained. If she gave this to your sister, if she left your sister in your care, it means she knew she was going to die. It means she chose you to protect what she couldn't. I don't understand. My voice cracks. Who was she? Who are you? Why would she? Luca Santoro. He releases my hand but doesn't step back. And my sister was running from the same people who are going to come for you the moment they realize that ring still exists. The name hits me like a physical blow. Santoro. Even someone like me, someone who lives in the shadows and keeps her head down, knows that name. The Santoro family runs the north side. They own half the city, literally or figuratively. They're the reason you don't walk through certain neighborhoods after dark. They're the reason certain politicians get elected and others disappear. They're the Mafia. And I just walked into the middle of their world, wearing a dead woman's ring. I need to go, I say, taking a step back. I need to get my sister. You need to stay exactly where you are and tell me everything. His voice has sharpened again, command replacing vulnerability. Where's your sister now? Where do you live? Who else knows about the ring? I'm not telling you anything. Fear gives me courage, makes me stupid. I don't care who you are. That ring is mine. Rosa is mine. And we want nothing to do with whatever this is. Rosa. He says the name like he's tasting it, testing it. How old? 9. Something in his expression shifts, softens almost imperceptibly. The same age Marina was when our parents were killed. When I had to become something other than her brother to keep her safe. He takes a step forward, closing the distance I created. I failed her. I won't fail whatever she was trying to protect. We're not your responsibility. That's where you're wrong. His hand comes up, and I flinch. But he just tucks a strand of hair behind my ear with surprising gentleness. You became my responsibility the moment you put on that ring. You became my responsibility the moment my sister chose you. And you became my responsibility the moment you walked through that door and saw faces you shouldn't have seen. The implications sink in slowly, like poison. In water. You're saying I'm in danger because I saw your meeting. I'm saying you were already in danger, and you didn't even know it. His thumb brushes my cheekbone, the gesture at odds with the hardness in his eyes. The question is whether you want my protection, or want to keep pretending you can survive this alone. I've been alone for 3 years. We've been fine. No. The word is flat, final. You've been lucky. Luck runs out. As if summoned by his words, the front door of the restaurant explodes inward with a crash of breaking glass. 3 men in black masks rush in, guns drawn. Luca moves before I can scream, before I can think, before I can even register what's happening. His arm hooks around my waist, and he's dragging me backward through the office door, into a hallway, his body between me and the gunfire that suddenly fills the air. Stay down, he barks, shoving me toward a door marked private. What's happening? I'm not proud of the terror in my voice, the way it climbs toward hysteria. Vitelli. He pulls a gun from somewhere under his jacket. Of course he has a gun, and fires twice back toward the dining room. He moves faster than expected. More gunfire, closer now. Luca returns fire, then grabs my arm and hauls me through the private door, down a flight of stairs I didn't know existed, into a basement that's definitely not part of the normal restaurant operation. It's a garage with 3 expensive cars and a door leading to an underground tunnel. In. He pushes me toward a black SUV with tinted windows. I need to get Rosa. I'm sending men to get Rosa right now. He's already on his phone, speaking rapid Italian. Give me your address. I shouldn't. Every instinct screams at me not to tell this man where we live, but gunfire echoes from upstairs, and his sister's ring burns on my finger, and his eyes hold a promise that's more binding than words. I give him the address. He relays it to whoever's on the phone, then ends the call and physically picks me up, depositing me in the passenger seat of the SUV. Buckle up. We're about to break several traffic laws. Where are we going? He starts the engine, and it purrs to life with a growl that speaks of horses under the hood I can't even comprehend. Somewhere safe. Somewhere they can't find you. They? You mean Vitelli? I mean everyone. He slams the vehicle into gear and we shoot forward into the tunnel, tires squealing. Because by morning, every family in Chicago is going to know that Marina Santoro's ring has resurfaced. And they're going to want it. They're going to want you. They're going to want whatever secrets Marina died protecting. The SUV bursts out of the tunnel onto a side street, and Luca drives like a man who knows these roads in his sleep, who's memorized every shortcut and escape route. I grip the door handle, my whole body shaking. I'm just a cleaner. I don't have any secrets. I don't know anything about your world. You do. Now. He glances at me, and there's something in his expression that makes my chest tight. Not pity, not quite compassion. Something darker and more complicated. You walked into my world wearing my sister's ring. There's no walking back out. My phone buzzes in my pocket. I yank it out with trembling fingers, expecting Carlos asking why I abandoned the job, or the electric company with another threat, or it's a text from an unknown number. Your sister is secure. En route to the North House. She's asking for you. Marco. I stare at the screen, then at Luca. How did they already? I have people everywhere. He takes a corner fast enough to make me grab for the door again. Your building, her school, the hospital where she gets treatment. I had them in position before we left the restaurant. That's impossible. That was 3 minutes ago. Welcome to my world, Camila. He knows my name. Of course he knows my name. He probably knows everything. In my world, 3 minutes is an eternity. And in my world, The people I protect stay protected. I didn't ask for your protection. Marina did. His knuckles are white on the steering wheel. That's enough. We drive in silence for several minutes, the city lights blurring past the windows. My mind is racing, trying to process everything that's happened in the last 10 minutes. This morning I was worried about rent. Now I'm running from armed men with a Mafia boss who claims his dead sister connected us 3 years ago. Tell me about her, I say finally. About Marina. If she's the reason Rosa is in my life, I deserve to know who she was. Luca's jaw tightens, and for a moment I think he won't answer. Then, she was light in a dark place. She was the only good thing that came from our father's world. She was 19 when they killed her, or when I thought they killed her. Maybe she's not dead. Maybe she just ran far enough that even I couldn't find her. His voice drops lower. I've searched for 3 years. The ring was the only thing I never found. Until tonight. The note said the ring would protect us. It will. He glances at me again. Because I will. The certainty in his voice should frighten me. Instead, it settles something in my chest, some knot of fear that's been there since the night I found Rosa alone and realized I was all she had. Where are you taking me? My home. The North House, it's where Rosa is being taken. It's the most secure location I have. He makes another turn, and suddenly we're on Lakeshore Drive, heading north away from everything I know. You'll stay there until I neutralize the threat. And how long will that take? His smile is sharp enough to cut. However long it takes to remind Chicago why you don't come after what's mine. What's mine? The possessiveness in those words should terrify me. Should make me demand he let me out right now, danger or not. But I think of Rosa, asking for me. I think of the ring on my finger, heavy with meaning I'm only beginning to understand. I think of Marina Santoro, who trusted me with something precious enough to die for. And I think of the man beside me, whose sister loved him enough to design a ring around their family, whose eyes hold an ocean of grief, who moved to protect me before he thought, like it was instinct. I need to work, I say instead. I have bills. Rosa has medical expenses. I can't just disappear. Your bills are handled. I blink. Excuse me? Before we left the restaurant, I had my accountant transfer enough to cover 6 months of expenses to your account. Rent, utilities, Rosa's medical costs. It's done. Anger flares hot in my chest. You can't just... I didn't ask for considerate payment for 3 years of taking care of whatever my sister entrusted to you. His voice is calm, matter of fact. And before you throw it back in my face, think about Rosa. Think about whether your pride is worth more than her stability. I want to argue. God, I want to argue. But he's right, and I hate that he's right. This doesn't mean I belong to you, I say finally. Something dark and promising flashes in his eyes. We'll see. The North House turns out to be a massive estate in Lake Forest, set back from the road behind gates that look like they could stop a tank. Security cameras track our approach. Men in suits watch from the shadows. This isn't a home, it's a fortress. And inside, curled up on a leather sofa in a living room the size of my entire apartment, is Rosa. Mila. She launches herself at me the moment we walk through the door, her small arms wrapping around my waist. They said you were coming. They said you were safe. I was so scared. I'm here, mi amor. I bury my face in her dark curls, breathing in the familiar scent of her strawberry shampoo. I'm here. Everything's okay. But even as I say it, I know it's a lie. Nothing is okay. Nothing will ever be okay again. Over Rosa's head, I meet Luca's eyes. He's watching us with an expression I can't read, something soft and broken and yearning. She looks like Marina, he says quietly. Same eyes, same smile. Rosa pulls back to look at him, and I realize with a start that she's not afraid. She should be this stranger, this dangerous man, his world of guns and violence. But she just studies him with that solemn intelligence that makes her seem older than 9. You're the one who sent the nice men to get me, she says. It's not a question. I am. They said my sister was in trouble. They said you were keeping her safe. She looks between us, her small hand finding mine. Are you? Yes. The single word is a vow. Rosa nods, apparently satisfied, and turns back to me. I like it here. There's a pool. And they said I could have ice cream for breakfast if you said it was okay. Despite everything, the fear, the confusion, The impossible situation I've found myself in, I laugh. It's slightly hysterical, but it's real. Maybe not ice cream for breakfast, but definitely ice cream, Luca says. And when he smiles at Rosa, it transforms his face. Makes him look younger, less dangerous, more human. Tomorrow, after a proper breakfast. Rosa grins, and something in my chest cracks open. This man, this dangerous, violent man, is gentle with my sister, is careful with her in a way that speaks of practice, of loss, of understanding what it means to protect something small and precious. Someone show them to the East Wing guest suite, Luca says to one of the men hovering nearby. Make sure they have everything they need. Post guards outside the door. No one gets in without my permission. You're not going to lock us in, I say, finding my voice. His eyes meet mine. I'm going to keep you safe. If that means guards on your door, then yes. But you're not prisoners, Camila. You can leave anytime you want. Really? Really? He steps closer, his voice dropping so only I can hear. But if you leave without my protection. And the people who killed my sister will find you within hours. So you have to ask yourself, is your freedom worth your sister's life? The words are harsh, but his eyes are gentle, almost apologetic. He's not wrong, and we both know it. Bastard, I whisper. Yes, there's no shame in his agreement, but a bastard who keeps his promises. A bastard who won't let you die wearing my sister's ring. A woman appears older, kind-faced, wearing a practical dress and comfortable shoes. I'm Elena, she says with a warm smile. I manage the house. Let me show you to your rooms. I've prepared some food if you're hungry. Rosa's hand tightens in mine. Can we stay together? Of course, Elena says. The suite has 2 bedrooms connected by a sitting room. You won't be separated. As Elena leads us away, I look back once to find Luca standing in the center of his fortress, watching us go, his expression unreadable except for the tightness around his eyes. He looks like a man who's seen a ghost. Or maybe, like a man who's just found something he didn't know he'd lost. The suite is absurd. There's no other word for it. 2 bedrooms, each larger than our entire apartment, connected by a sitting room with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Lake Michigan. The furniture looks like it belongs in a museum, all rich fabrics and dark wood and the kind of attention to detail that screams money. Real money, not the kind you earn, but the kind you inherit and multiply through means you don't discuss in polite company. Rosa is already exploring, her small hands trailing over surfaces. She's afraid to touch too firmly, like she might break something just by breathing on it. She stops at a grand piano in the corner of the sitting room, pressing one key tentatively. The note rings out pure and clear. Do you play? Elena asks kindly. Rosa shakes her head, but I see the longing in her eyes. Before everything fell apart, before our parents died in a car accident that left us orphaned and alone, she'd been taking lessons. She'd been good, the teacher said. Naturally gifted. But piano lessons cost money we didn't have. Money I spent on dialysis and medication and keeping us fed. Perhaps you'd like to learn? Elena says, and there's something in her tone that makes me think she understands more than she should. Mr. Santoro keeps the piano tuned even though no one plays it. I think he'd be pleased to hear music in this house again. I'm about to decline politely. We're not staying long enough for piano lessons. Not getting comfortable enough to accept more than we absolutely must when Luca's voice cuts through from the doorway. Teach her. He's changed clothes, I notice. Gone is the expensive suit, replaced by dark jeans and a black Henley that does nothing to hide the lean muscle underneath. He looks different like this. Still dangerous, but more human. Marina played. She'd have wanted someone to use it. Rosa looks at me, hopeful and hesitant in equal measure. I hate how easily he's reading us, how quickly he's identified what will make us stay, what will make us grateful. But I also hate the hope in my sister's eyes more than I hate his manipulation. We'll see, I say, which Rosa knows means yes if circumstances allow. Elena has laid out food on a table by the windows, nothing heavy, just fruit and cheese and bread that smells like it was baked today. Rosa falls on it with the hunger of a 9-year-old who missed dinner, but I can't eat. My stomach is twisted in knots, my mind still racing. You should rest, Luca says, reading me again with unnerving accuracy. It's almost 4 a.m. Rosa needs sleep. So do you. I need answers. I keep my voice low so Rosa won't hear the edge in it. You can't just upend our lives and expect us to sleep soundly in your fortress. His lips quirk. Fortress. I like that. I'm serious. So am I. He crosses to the windows, his hands sliding into his pockets. What do you want to know? Everything. Nothing. Where do I even start? Why did someone try to kill us tonight? They weren't trying to kill you. They didn't know you existed until you walked into that room. His reflection in the window is sharp, controlled. They were trying to kill me. You just became collateral damage the moment you witnessed their attempt. Vitelli. Marco Vitelli. Yes. He runs the South Side. Or he thinks he does. He's been pushing into my territory for months, thinking I'm weak because I haven't retaliated. His jaw tightens. Tonight was his attempt to remove the problem permanently. And now? Now he's made it personal. Luca turns from the window, and there's something cold in his eyes, something that reminds me exactly what he is. Now he's signed his death warrant. The casual certainty in his voice makes my blood run cold. You're going to kill him. I'm going to eliminate a threat to my operations and my family. He says it like he's discussing the weather. That's what happens when you come after a Santoro. I'm not a Santoro. You're wearing Marina's ring. His eyes drop to my hand. That makes you family by her choice, if not by blood. That's insane. Welcome to my world, Camila. Insanity is the only currency that matters. Rosa has curled up on the couch, her eyes drooping despite her best efforts to stay awake. I recognize that stubborn set to her jaw. She's trying to wait for answers, trying to understand what's happening, but exhaustion is winning. Let me put her to bed, I say. Then we'll talk. Luca nods and moves toward the door. I'll be in my office down the hall. Come find me when you're ready. He's almost gone when I call out, Luca. He stops, looks back. Thank you. For getting her out. For keeping her safe. Something shifts in his expression, softens almost imperceptibly. You don't have to thank me for doing what should have been done 3 years ago. Then he's gone, and I'm left alone with Rosa and the ghost of his sister between us. Rosa's room is fit for a princess canopy bed with silk curtains, a window seat overlooking the lake, even a small bookshelf already stocked with novels for her age range. Someone has thought of everything, anticipated every need. It's thorough in a way that's both comforting and deeply unsettling. Is this real? Rosa asks, as I tuck her in, her voice small and uncertain. Are we really safe here? I smooth the hair back from her forehead, the gesture automatic after years of being the only parent she has. I think so, mi amor, for now at least. He seems nice, Mr. Santoro. Nice. God, if only she knew. He's complicated, I say instead. His sister gave me to you, didn't she? Rosa's eyes are too knowing for 9 years old. The ring, the note, that was his sister. I should have known I couldn't hide this from her. Rosa has always been perceptive, always reading the spaces between words where the truth lives. I think so, yes. Why? I don't know yet. But I'm going to find. She's quiet for a moment, her small hand finding mine where it rests on the comforter. I'm glad she did. I'm glad I have you. My throat tightens. Me too, Querida. Me too. She falls asleep quickly, the way children do, one moment talking, the next lost to dreams. I sit with her for a while, watching the rise and fall of her chest, the peace on her face that's so rare during her waking hours. This is why I do everything. Why I work 3 jobs and live in a shoebox and wear shoes with holes in them. For these moments of peace, for her safety, for her future. And now that future is tangled with a man who kills people as casually as others change their socks. I find Luca's office by following the sound of voices, his low and commanding, and another man's that I don't recognize. The door is ajar, and through it I can see him at a desk, phone pressed to his ear, his free hand rubbing his temples like he's fighting off a headache. Don't care what excuses they have. I want Vitelli's locations by dawn, and I want every man he has accounted for. If they breathe, I want to know about it. A pause. No mercy this time. He came into my place of business with guns. He endangered civilians. The rules have changed. He looks up and sees me in the doorway. Something in his expression shifts, the hardness receding like a tide. I'll call you back, he says into the phone, then ends the call without waiting for a response. Rosa settled? Out, like a light. I step into the office, taking in the organized chaos papers spread across the desk, monitors showing what look like security feeds, a map of Chicago covered in colored pins. You weren't kidding about being thorough. I don't joke about security. He stands, rolling his shoulders like they ache. Drink? It's 4 in the morning. Best time for whiskey. He's already pouring 2 glasses from a crystal decanter on the sidebar. Helps process trauma. I should decline. Should keep a clear head. But my hands are still shaking from the adrenaline crash, and when he holds out the glass, I take it. The whiskey burns going down. Smooth and expensive and probably worth more than I make in a week. If you're enjoying this story so far, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Your support means everything and helps me bring you more emotional stories like this one. Sit, Luca says, gesturing to a leather chair across from his desk. You wanted answers. Ask. I settle into the chair, the glass warm in my hands. Why does Vitelli want you dead? Same reason anyone wants power, greed, ambition, the belief that he can do what I do, but better. Luca leans against the desk, close enough that I can smell that cedar and smoke scent again. He's wrong, of course, but he won't know that until it's too late. And your sister? How does she fit into this? His expression darkens. 3 years ago, there was a war. Not like tonight's skirmish, a real war. Families choosing sides, bodies dropping every week. Marina was caught in the crossfire, or so I thought. He takes a drink, and I watch his throat work as he swallows. She disappeared from a restaurant on the south side. There was blood, signs of a struggle. No body, but enough evidence to assume the worst. You think she's dead? I thought she was dead. Past tense. His eyes meet mine. Now I'm not so sure. Because of Rosa. Because of Rosa, he confirms. Because Marina wouldn't have entrusted a child to just anyone. She must have known you, trusted you. And the timing she disappeared 3 years ago. Rosa appeared in your life 3 years ago. He sets his glass down hard enough that it cracks against the desk. Which means Marina planned her disappearance. Which means she's either dead by her own hand or she ran far enough that even I couldn't find her. The anguish in his voice catches me off guard. This isn't the cold mafia boss who ordered hits like room service. This is a brother who lost his sister, who spent 3 years wondering if he could have saved her. Tell me about her, I say softly. If we're connected through her, I should know who she was. He's quiet for so long I think he won't answer. Then, she was 17 when our parents were killed. Father was the head of the family, mother was his anchor. Without them, the organization started to fracture. I was 25, too young to hold power but old enough to fight for it. His voice is distant now, lost in memory. I had to become someone I wasn't. Someone hard enough to keep the family together. Someone willing to do things that keep you awake at night. And Marina? Marina saw all of it. The violence, the compromises, the blood on my hands. He looks at those hands now, like he can still see the stains. She was the only one who looked at me and still saw her brother. Not the boss, not the killer, just me. My chest aches with unexpected sympathy. She loved you. She did. God help her. She did. He pushes off from the desk, pacing to the window. I tried to protect her from this life. Sent her to private schools, gave her everything she wanted, kept her as far from the business as possible. But blood is blood. Eventually, everyone has to choose. What did she choose? To run. The words are bitter. To take that ring, the only thing of value I ever gave her that wasn't tainted by where the money came from, and disappear. To leave me wondering if she was dead or just done with me. I stand, moving to his side without thinking. Or to protect something. Someone. Rosa. He turns to me, and we're close enough that I can see the gold flecks in his dark eyes, the fine lines that speak of too many sleepless nights. Why Rosa? Who is she to Marina? That's the question that's haunted me for 3 years. Maybe we'll never know. Maybe Marina took that answer with her. Or maybe, he says quietly, his hand coming up to brush my cheek in that same gentle gesture from earlier. Maybe you're the answer. Maybe Marina saw something in you worth protecting, worth trusting, worth dying for. The touch is electric, makes my skin feel too tight. I should step back, create distance. Remember that this man is dangerous and I'm only here because circumstance forced it. But I don't move. Neither does he. Luca, I whisper, not even sure what I'm asking for. I know. His thumb traces my jawline. This is insane. You're a stranger who walked into my restaurant by accident. But you're wearing Marina's ring, and you're taking care of a child she loved enough to sacrifice everything for. And when I look at you, what? My heart is hammering. When you look at me, what? I see her choice. and I understand it. His hand drops, and the loss of contact is almost painful. You're worth protecting, Camila. You and Rosa both. Marina knew that 3 years ago. I know it now. Before I can respond, his phone buzzes. He glances at it, and whatever he sees makes his expression shudder, the vulnerable man disappearing behind the cold boss. I have to go. Business that can't wait. He's already moving toward the door, all efficiency now. Stay in the suite. Don't open the door for anyone but Elena. Marco is posted outside. If you need anything, tell him. Where are you going? He pauses at the door, looks back. To remind Chicago why you don't come after a Santoro. Then he's gone, and I'm alone in his office with the ghost of his touch on my skin and the weight of his sister's ring on my finger. I don't sleep. How could I? My mind is racing with everything that's happened, everything that's changed in the space of a few hours. By the time dawn breaks over the lake, painting the water in shades of pink and gold, I've worn a path in the carpet with my pacing. Rosa wakes around 7, disoriented and uncertain until she remembers where we are. I help her dress in clothes that appeared mysteriously in her closet overnight, expensive, things that fit perfectly, because of course they do, and we venture out to find breakfast. Elena is already waiting in the suite's sitting room, a cart laden with food beside her. Good morning, she says with that same warm smile. I thought you might prefer eating up here today. Mr. Santoro said to make you comfortable. Where is he? The question comes out sharper than intended. Handling business in the city? He'll return this afternoon. Elena begins setting out plates, scrambled eggs, bacon, fresh fruit, pastries that smell like heaven. He asked me to ensure you have everything you need. Rosa attacks the food with enthusiasm. But I can barely eat. I'm too keyed up, too aware that we're in a gilded cage, however comfortable. Elena, I say carefully, have you worked for the Santoro family long? 15 years. She pours coffee with steady hands. Since before Mr. Luca took over. You knew Marina. Something sad crosses her face. I did, sweet girl. Too good for this world. Why would she run? Elena glances at Rosa, clearly weighing how much to say in front of a child. That's not my story to tell, Miss Torres. But I will say this, Marina loved her brother more than anything. If she left, it wasn't to hurt him. It was to save him. Save him from what? The question burns on my tongue, but Rosa is listening, and I don't want to frighten her more than she already is. After breakfast, Elena offers to show Rosa the pool, and to my surprise, my sister agrees. She's usually clingy after upheaval, but something about Elena's gentle presence puts her at ease. I'm left alone in the suite, restless and uncertain. I try to distract myself with the books on the shelves, but I can't focus. Try watching the news, but every story feels distant and irrelevant compared to my current situation. Finally, I do what I've been avoiding. I examine the ring closely, really looking at it for the first time in 3 years. The roses are beautifully rendered, each petal distinct. The thorns look sharp enough to draw blood. The ruby catches the morning light, throwing red shadows across my skin. On the inside of the band, I notice something I've never seen before, an inscription, worn almost smooth with age. Sangue chiama sangue, blood calls to blood, a family motto, maybe, or a warning. I'm so absorbed in the ring that I don't hear the door open, don't register the presence behind me until a hand clamps over my mouth and an arm wraps around my waist, yanking me backward. I try to scream, but the hand is firm, cutting off sound. Try to fight, but whoever has me is strong, trained. They drag me toward the door, and I realize with sickening clarity that the guard who should be posted outside is gone. This is it. Whatever protection Luca thought he could provide, it wasn't enough. They've found me. Then I hear Rosa scream. Everything in me goes cold, then white-hot. I bite down hard on the hand covering my mouth, tasting blood. My attacker swears and loosens his grip, just enough for me to wrench free. I'm not a fighter. I'm a cleaner who stays alive by being invisible. But Rosa's scream activates something primal, something that bypasses fear and goes straight to fury. I grab the nearest object, a heavy book from the shelf, and swing it with all my strength at my attacker's head. He goes down hard, more from surprise than actual damage. I run. The hallway is chaos. 2 men are dragging Rosa toward the stairs, her small body fighting with everything she has. Elena is unconscious on the floor, blood matting her gray hair. Rosa! I scream her name, sprinting toward her. One of the men turns, pulls a gun. I see it happen in slow motion, his arm raising, finger on the trigger, the black eye of the barrel pointing at my chest. This is it. This is how I die. But the shot never comes. Because Luca appears from the stairs like an avenging angel, moving faster than should be possible for someone his size. His hand closes around the gunman's wrist, twisting until bone snaps with a sound that makes my stomach turn. The gun clatters to the floor. The second man drops Rosa, reaching for his own weapon, but Luca is already there. I watch in horrified fascination as he fights with brutal efficiency. Not flashy, not cinematic, just cold and effective violence designed to incapacitate quickly. Within seconds, both men are on the ground, unconscious or dead, I can't tell which. Luca sweeps Rosa up with one arm, his other hand reaching for me. Move, now. I don't argue. I run, following him down the stairs, through corridors I don't recognize, Rosa clutching his neck and crying into his shoulder. We burst into what looks like a panic room, reinforced walls, monitors showing security feeds, enough supplies to survive a siege. Luca deposits Rosa on a couch and immediately turns to me, his hands running over my arms, my face, checking for injuries. Are you hurt? His voice is sharp with something that sounds like fear. No, I'm fine. Elena. Marco's with her. She'll be okay. His hands cut my face, forcing me to meet his eyes. This is my fault. I should have had more men. Should have anticipated. How did you know? How did you get here in time? I was already on my way back. One of the perimeter alarms tripped. His jaw is tight enough to crack teeth. I was almost too late. Rosa's crying has subsided to hiccups. I pull away from Luca to gather her into my arms, holding her tight while she shakes. Who were they? I ask over her head. Vitelli's men. Luca's voice is cold enough to freeze blood. He moved faster than I expected. Sent them here while I was downtown handling his other operations. You said we were safe here. I said this was the most secure location I have. I didn't say it was impenetrable. He runs a hand through his hair, the first sign of agitation I've seen from him. But they won't make it off the property alive. And Vitelli will pay for this with everything he has. I want to go home. Rosa's voice is muffled against my shoulder. I want to go back to our apartment. I exchange a glance with Luca. We both know that's impossible now. I'm sorry, mi amor, I whisper into her hair. We can't. Not yet. Why not? She pulls back, her face tear-streaked and furious in the way only a 9-year-old can manage. I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask to be special or important or whatever this is. I just want to go home. I know, baby. I'm crying too now, unable to help it. But home isn't safe anymore. Nowhere is safe. She's shouting now, all the fear and confusion of the last 12 hours erupting. Those men had guns. They were going to take me. And you... She rounds on Luca, small and fierce and utterly fearless. You said we'd be safe here. You promised. To his credit, Luca doesn't flinch from her anger. He lowers himself to her level, meeting her eyes with absolute seriousness. You're right. I did promise. And I failed you. His voice is quiet but firm. But I swear to you, Rosa, on everything I have, on my sister's memory, no one will touch you again. Not while I'm alive. Your promises don't mean anything, she spits. But there's less heat in it now. You're just like everyone else who said they'd take care of us. You're going to leave too. No. The word is absolute. I'm not your parents, Rosa. I'm not going to die in a car accident. I'm not going to leave you and Camila alone. Because unlike everyone else, I know what it costs to lose the people you love. And I refuse to let you pay that price again. Something in his tone, the utter conviction, the weight of his own grief cracks through Rosa's anger. She stares at him for a long moment, then launches herself at him, small arms wrapping around his neck. He catches her automatically, his eyes closing like her trust is both painful and precious. Over Rosa's head, his eyes meet mine, and there's a question in them. A promise, a claim. I will protect you, both, no matter what it costs. And despite everything, the violence, the danger, the absolute insanity of this situation, I believe him. We stay in the panic room for 2 hours, while Luca's men sweep the property. The security feeds show a small army moving through the estate, checking every room, every shadow. Bodies are removed, the men who attacked us, and Marco, Luca's head of security, who died protecting Elena. Another death on the ledger. Another price paid for getting close to the Santoro family. I need to move you, Luca says finally, his phone pressed to his ear as he coordinates with his people. This location is compromised. Vitelli knows about it now. Move us where? I'm exhausted, running on adrenaline and fear. I have a property in the mountains. More remote, easier to defend. He glances at Rosa, who's fallen into an exhausted sleep on the couch. It's not as comfortable, but it's safer. How long? Until I neutralize the threat. A few days, maybe a week. His expression is grim. Vitelli just declared war. I need to end it before more people die. I think of Elena, unconscious but alive. Of Marco, who I never met but who died protecting us. Of the two men Luca killed without hesitation, without remorse. This is his world. This is what it means to be connected to him. What if I take Rosa and leave? The question comes out smaller than intended. What if we just disappear? Change our names? Move across the country? Start over? He's quiet for a moment, and I can see him considering it, running through scenarios. Then he shakes his head. They'd find you. Maybe not tomorrow or next week, but eventually. He moves closer, his presence solid and grounding. Vitelli saw you at the restaurant. His men tried to take you from my home. You're a known variable now, a piece on the board, and the ring, he touches it where it sits on my finger. The families will hear about Marina's ring resurfacing. They'll want to know what it means, what secrets. Marina might have shared with you. I don't know any secrets. They don't know that. His thumb brushes across my knuckles. You're safer with me than anywhere else. I know that's not the answer you want, but it's the truth. He's right. I hate it, but he's right. What happens when this is over? When Vitelli is dead and the threat is gone? Something complicated crosses his face. What do you want to happen? The question catches me off guard. I want normal. I want to go back to my life, my job, my routine. Do you? He's watching me intently now. Because I don't think you were living, Camila. I think you were surviving. 3 jobs, no sleep, no life outside of taking care of Rosa. Is that really what you want to go back to? It's mine. It's what I built. It's a cage. His voice is gentle but firm. A different kind than this, but still a cage. You're so busy surviving you forgot how to live. The words hit harder than they should, because he's not wrong. I can't remember the last time I did something just for myself. The last time I laughed without worry shadowing it. The last time I felt like anything other than Rosa's caretaker and a ghost of the person I used to be. And what's your alternative? I ask, my voice sharper than intended. Stay here? In your world? Become what? Your kept woman? Another pretty thing in your fortress? His eyes flash with something I can't read. Is that what you think I want? I don't know what you want. I want... He stops, jaw working like he's fighting with himself. Then, I want to give you the choice Marina never had. Stay or go, it's yours. But know that if you stay, it's not as a prisoner or a kept woman or anything you don't want to be. You stay as family. As someone under my protection who I will die before I let anyone harm. Why? The question is almost a whisper. Why do you care so much? You don't know me. Because my sister chose you, he says simply. Because you took in a child that wasn't yours, and raised her and protected her for 3 years without asking for anything in return. Because when those men came for you, your first thought was Rosa's safety, not your own. His hand comes up to cut my cheek. Because when I look at you, I see everything Marina wanted me to remember, that there's more than this life, more than violence and territory and endless war. I should pull away, should put distance between us, should remember that this man is dangerous, that people die around him, that getting close is asking for heartbreak. But I don't move. And when he leans in, when his lips brush mine in a kiss that's surprisingly gentle, surprisingly hesitant, I don't stop him. I kiss him back. It's soft at first, questioning, like he's giving me every chance to pull away. But when I don't, when my hands come up to grip his shirt, something shifts. The kiss deepens, becomes more urgent, more real. He tastes like whiskey and danger, and a promise I'm not sure he can keep. When we finally break apart, both breathing hard, he rests his forehead against mine. Stay, he whispers. At least until this is over. Let me protect you. Let me keep you safe. I should say no. Should think about this logically, rationally, without the complication of attraction and adrenaline and the way he looks at me like I'm something precious. But Rosa is asleep on his couch, trusting him despite everything. And his sister's ring burns on my finger, a connection I don't understand but can't deny. And when I really look at him, I don't see just the dangerous mafia boss or the cold killer. I see a man who loved his sister enough to search for her for 3 years. Who protects what's his with absolute conviction. Who kisses like he's afraid I'll disappear if he's not gentle enough. Okay, I say finally. We'll stay. For now. The relief that crosses his face is so profound it takes my breath away. For now, he agrees. That's enough. He calls for his men to prepare for the play. Move, already shifting back into command mode. But before he walks away, he catches my hand, pressing a kiss to my knuckles right above Marina's ring. I won't let you down, he says. Either of you. And despite everything, I believe him. The mountain house is exactly what Luca promised, remote, defensible, and spare, in a way that makes the Lake Forest estate look like a palace. It's all stone and timber, built into the side of a mountain 2 hours north of Chicago, accessible only by a single winding road that Luca's men can monitor from miles away. But it has windows that overlook forests stretching to the horizon, and a silence so complete it feels like the world has stopped spinning. Rosa hates it immediately. There's nothing here, she says, staring out at the trees with the particular despair of a child who's been uprooted one too many times. No pool, no piano, nothing. There's safety, Luca says quietly. He's been different since the kiss, more careful with me, more attentive. Like he's afraid I'll change my mind about staying. That's worth more than pools. Not to me. She crosses her arms, and I recognize the stubborn set to her jaw. She's reaching her limit, my resilient little sister. Everyone has a breaking point, and I can see hers approaching. I want to go home, Mila. I want my school, my friends, my life. I don't have an answer for her. Because she's right. This isn't living. This is hiding. That night, after Rosa finally cries herself to sleep in the small bedroom adjacent to mine, I find Luca in what passes for an office, a converted den, with a single desk, a laptop, and a window overlooking the forest. He's on the phone again, speaking in rapid Italian, his voice hard with barely controlled fury. When he sees me, he ends the call abruptly. Can't sleep? He asks. Rosa's miserable. I pause, searching for the right word. I'm drowning. He stands, moving around the desk to face me. Tell me what you need. I need this to be over. I need Vitelli dealt with. I need my sister to stop crying every night. My voice cracks despite my best efforts. I need to know this wasn't a mistake. Trusting you. Coming here. It wasn't. He's close now, close enough to touch, but he doesn't. He's giving me space, I realize, letting me come to him or not. I'm close, Camilla. Vitelli's organization is fracturing. His allies are abandoning him. 2 more days, maybe 3, and I'll have him. And then you're free, you and Rosa. You can go back to Chicago if you want. Back to your apartment, your jobs, your life. Something painful crosses his face. Or you can stay, build something different. Something better. With you. With me. He says it without apology, without shame. I know it's insane. I know we barely know each other. But I also know that I haven't felt this alive in years. Not since before Marina disappeared. And I think... He stops, jaw working. I think she sent you to me for a reason. Not just to protect Rosa, but to remind me that there's more than vengeance and territory. That there's something worth living for beyond survival. I should tell him he's wrong. Should point out that we're strangers bound by circumstance. That what he's feeling is just proximity and adrenaline and the memory of his dead sister. But I'd be lying. Because I feel it too. This pull, this recognition, like some part of me has been waiting for him without knowing it. What if I'm not strong enough for your world? I whisper. What if I break? You won't. His hand finally reaches for mine, fingers intertwining with absolute certainty. You raised Rosa alone. You survived poverty and grief and kept going. You're stronger than you think, Camila. Stronger than I am in ways that matter. You kill people. I do. He doesn't flinch from it. I'm not good, Camila. I'm not some misunderstood hero. I've done terrible things for terrible reasons, and I'll probably do more before this is over. But I'm good. To the people I love. I'm loyal. I'm honest. And I will never, ever let anyone hurt you or Rosa again. The conviction in his voice breaks something open in my chest. Show me, I say suddenly. Show me your world. Really show me. No sanitizing, no hiding. If I'm going to stay, I need to know what I'm choosing. He's quiet for a long moment, studying my face like he's searching for doubt. Then he nods. Tomorrow. I'll show you everything. Tomorrow comes too soon, and not soon enough. Elena arrived during the night, recovered from her injuries and insisting on coming despite Luca's protests. She stays with Rosa, teaching her card games and baking cookies, while Luca takes me back to Chicago in an SUV with tinted windows and 2 armed guards following at a discreet distance. Where are we going? I ask as we drive through neighborhoods that get progressively rougher, buildings more run down, people on corners watching our car with calculating eyes. The South Side, Vitelli's territory. Luca's hands are relaxed on the steering wheel, but I can see the tension in his shoulders. I'm meeting with his second in command, a man named Gianni Rossetti who's smart enough to know when his boss has lost. You're negotiating? I'm offering a choice. Surrender Vitelli and keep breathing, or go down with him. He glances at me. This is what it looks like, Camila. Not the fancy restaurants or the estate. This, cutting deals with men who'd kill me if they thought they could get away with it. Managing violence with the threat of greater violence. We pull up to a warehouse that's seen better days. Graffiti covers the walls, and broken windows gape like missing teeth. But there are men watching from the shadows, and I can see the bulges under their jackets that suggest weapons. Stay in the car, Luca says. Marco will be with you. He nods to one of the guards who's materialized beside my door. If anything happens, nothing will happen, Marco says calmly. He's younger than I expected, maybe 30, with a scar bisecting his left eyebrow. We have 6 men on rooftops and 4 more in the building. Rossetti knows better than to try something. Luca nods, then looks at me. Last chance to close your eyes to this part. I'm here to see, I say, my voice steadier than I feel. So show me. I watch through the tinted windows as Luca enters the warehouse. Minutes stretch like hours. I imagine a dozen different scenarios, each more violent than the last. Then Luca emerges, followed by a stocky man with gray hair who's gesturing emphatically. They talk for several minutes, voices too low to hear, but body language clear. Negotiation, concession, agreement. The gray-haired man, Rossetti, I assume, finally nods, extends his hand. Luca shakes it. A deal has been made. Luca returns to the car, sliding behind the wheel with a satisfied expression. Rossetti's smart. He's handing over Vitelli in exchange for control of 3 blocks and amnesty for his men. Just like that? He's betraying his boss? Loyalty in this world has a price, Camila. And Vitelli stopped being worth the cost. He starts the engine. By tonight, Marco Vitelli will be in my custody. By tomorrow, the threat will be neutralized. Neutralized. I taste the word, understanding its weight. You mean dead. I mean removed from the equation. His eyes meet mine. Does that bother you? It should. God, it should terrify me. But I think of Rosa screaming as those men dragged her away. I think of Elena bleeding on the floor. I think of Marco, Luca's head of security, who died protecting us. No, I say, finally. It doesn't. Something like approval flashes in his eyes. Good. Because this is the reality. I don't apologize for protecting what's mine, and I don't lose sleep over removing threats. Our next stop is a restaurant in Little Italy, not Luminosa, but something similar. High-end, exclusive, with waiters in crisp uniforms and a clientele that screams old money. This is what pays for everything else, Luca explains as we sit in a private booth in the back. Legitimate businesses that launder money and provide cover. I own 12 restaurants, 4 nightclubs, 2 hotels, and a construction company. All legal, all profitable, all useful for moving money from less legal enterprises. A waiter brings wine without being asked, along with antipasti that looks like art on a plate. How much of your empire is legitimate? I ask. About 40%. He says it matter-of-factly, like discussing the weather. The rest is territory control, protection rackets, smuggling operations. Nothing that would shock you if you've been paying attention. And you're comfortable with that? The illegal parts? He considers the question, swirling wine in his glass. Comfortable is the wrong word. Resigned, maybe. This is the world I inherited from my father, the world I've expanded. Could I walk away? Try to go legitimate? Theoretically, yes. But it would create a power vacuum, and someone worse would fill it. At least I have rules. I don't touch drugs, don't traffic people, don't allow my men to hurt civilians without cause. His eyes harden. Vitelli has no such restrictions. That's why he has to go. I digest this, trying to reconcile the moral gymnastics with the man sitting across from me. What did Marina think of all this? I ask finally. Pain flashes across his face, quick but unmistakable. She hated it. Hated what I'd become, what I had to do to keep us safe. He sets down his glass. She used to beg me to walk away, to take her and disappear, start over somewhere clean. But I couldn't. Too many people depending on me. Too many enemies who'd hunt us down. So she left instead. So she left instead, he echoes. And I've spent 3 years wondering if I could have prevented it. If I'd chosen differently, would she still be here? I reach across the table, covering his hand with mine. The gesture feels natural now, not calculated or cautious. You can't change the past. You can only choose what to do with the future. Is that what you're doing? His fingers curl around mine. Choosing a future? Maybe. I meet his eyes. Maybe I'm choosing to stop just surviving and start actually living. Even if it's complicated. Even if it's dangerous. It will be both those things. Always. He brings my hand to his lips, kisses the knuckles above Marina's ring. But I promise you'll never face it alone. We return to the mountain house as the sun is setting, painting the forest in shades of amber and gold. Rosa and Elena have made dinner pasta with sauce that smells like heaven, and for the first time since this started, we sit together like something approaching a family. Rosa is quieter than usual, watching Luca with thoughtful eyes. Finally, over dessert, she speaks. Are you going to kill the bad man? She asks with the blunt directness of a 9-year-old. I tense, expecting Luca to deflect or lie. Instead, he sets down his fork and meets her eyes with perfect seriousness. Yes. Because he hurt people you love? Because he tried to hurt people I love, and he would have kept trying if I let him live. Rosa considers this, her small face grave. Will more bad men come after him? Probably. There are always more bad men. Then you'll have to protect us forever. It's not a question, not really. Just a statement of fact delivered with the gravity of someone much older. Luca reaches across the table, takes her small hand in his large one. I will protect you forever, Rosa. That's a promise. And I keep my promises. She studies him for a long moment, then nods, apparently satisfied. Okay, but you have to teach me piano. Your sister would want you to. The request catches him off guard. I can see it in the way his expression falters, softens. How do you know Marina played piano? The lady said so, Elena. Rosa shrugs, so casual about dropping this bomb. She said Marina used to play for hours when she was sad, that the music made her feel better. It did. Luca's voice is rough. She was brilliant at it. Could have been a concert pianist if... He stops, the unfinished thought heavy in the air. If she hadn't been born into this life. If their parents hadn't died. If everything had been different. So you'll teach me? Rosa presses. I don't play. I never learned. Then we'll learn together. She says it with such simple confidence that it makes my chest ache. You can buy a piano for the house, and we'll take lessons, and we'll play for Camila when she's sad. I'm crying before I realize it, silent tears tracking down my face. Because this is my sister, resilient, hopeful, finding light in the darkest places. And this is Luca, dangerous and deadly and capable of terrible things, looking at Rosa like she's handed him something precious beyond measure. Okay, he says finally. We'll learn together. Rosa grins, triumphant. And just like that, the tension breaks. We finish dinner with Rosa chattering about what songs she wants to learn, with Elena sharing stories about Marina's playing, with Luca occasionally adding details that reveal how closely he paid attention to his sister, even when he claimed not to. It's almost normal, almost like a family. And that terrifies me more than the violence. more than the danger. Because I could get used to this. I could fall into this life, these people, this dangerous man who looks at me like I hung the moon. That night, after Rosa is asleep and Elena has retired to her room, I find Luca on the deck overlooking the forest. He's nursing a whiskey, his expression distant. "Tomorrow," he says without turning. "Rossetti delivers Vitelli tomorrow at noon. It'll be finished by nightfall. And then you decide." He turns to face me now. "Stay or go, Camila. Build a life here with me, or take Rosa back to Chicago and pretend this never happened. Can we pretend? After everything? Probably not." His smile is sad. "But I'd give you the choice anyway. I'd give you money, protection, whatever you needed to disappear, if that's what you wanted." I move closer, drawn by something I'm tired of fighting. What if I don't want to disappear? Hope flares in his eyes, dangerous and desperate. "Then tell me what you do want." I pause, gathering courage. "I want to stay. I want Rosa to have piano lessons and a safe place to grow up. I want to stop working 3 jobs just to survive. I take another step, close enough to touch him now. "I want you, even though it's insane, even though we barely know each other. Even though your world is violent and dangerous and nothing like what I imagined for my life." His hands come up to frame my face, gentle despite their capacity for violence. "You're sure? Because once you choose this, there's no going back. You'll be part of my world, part of my family. That means danger. It means sacrifice. It means accepting that I'll never be a normal man with a normal life. I don't want normal. The truth of it surprises me. Normal is working myself to death and watching Rosa grow up in poverty and being invisible. I gesture between us, encompassing everything. This is terrifying and complicated and probably a terrible idea, but it's real. It's alive. And I'm tired of just surviving." He kisses me then, and it's different from the first time. Not gentle or questioning, but claiming. Possessive, full of promise and heat. His hands slide into my hair, tilting my head back to deepen the kiss, and I meet him with equal intensity. 3 years of loneliness and fear and exhaustion pouring out in the way I grip his shirt. Pull him closer. Give myself over to this moment. When we finally break apart, both breathing hard, his forehead rests against mine. "Stay with me tonight," he whispers. Not because of danger or necessity, just because I want you here. I should say no. Should maintain some distance, some boundary between caretaker and protected and whatever this is becoming. But I'm tired of should. Tired of safe. Tired of being careful. "Okay," I whisper back. His room is sparse, just a bed, a dresser, windows overlooking the forest. He doesn't turn on the lights, just pulls me inside and closes the door, shutting out the world. We don't talk. There's nothing left to say that our bodies can't express better. The way he touches me like I'm something precious. The way I trace the scars on his skin that speak of a violent life. The way we come together with equal parts desperation and tenderness. This is choosing. This is committing. This is stepping off a cliff and trusting he'll catch me. And he does. Again and again, through the night, until we're tangled together in sheets that smell like him. My head on his chest, his heartbeat steady beneath my ear. "I love you," he says into the darkness. And the dark words are so unexpected, so raw, that I freeze. "You don't even know me. I know enough." His hand strokes through my hair, gentle and sure. "I know you're brave and fierce and loyal. I know you took in a child that wasn't yours and loved her anyway. I know you walked into my world without flinching and demanded truth over comfort." He tilts my face up so I'm looking at him. "I know that my sister chose you, and Marina's judgment was better than mine ever was. And I know that when I look at you, I see a future I thought died with her." Tears blur my vision. What if I can't do this? What if I'm not strong enough? Then I'll be strong enough for both of us. He kisses me softly, a promise sealed with lips and breath. That's what family does, Camila. We carry each other. Family. The word settles in my chest, warm and terrifying and right. "I love you too," I whisper, and feel him exhale like he's been holding his breath. I don't know when it happened or how, but I do. "Then stay. Build this life with me. Let me give you and Rosa everything you deserve." "Okay." The word is easy this time, no hesitation. "We'll stay." The next day dawns clear and cold. Luca is gone when I wake. A note on the pillow saying he'll be back by evening, that Marco is with me and Rosa, that he loves me. The casualness of those last 3 words, like they're already understood, already accepted, makes me smile. I spend the day with Rosa, and for the first time in years, I'm not worrying about bills or jobs or how to make ends meet. We bake with Elena. We explore the forest around the house. We talk about the future in a way we never could, before piano lessons and new schools and possibilities that don't involve scraping by. You're different, Rosa observes, as we walk among the trees. Happier. I am happy. The realization surprises me. Are you okay with that? With us staying here? With Luca? She's quiet for a moment, her small hand in mine. He's good to you, good to us, and he makes you smile the way you used to, before Mama and Papa died. She looks up at me, her eyes wise beyond her years. I think his sister would be happy. That we're together. I think so too. We return to the house to find Luca has arrived, earlier than expected. He's in the office with Marco, speaking in low, urgent tones. My stomach drops. What's wrong? He looks up, and there's something in his face I can't read. Vitelli's dead. But you said, not by my hand. Rossetti got to him first. He runs a hand through his hair, frustrated. Killed him and delivered the body as proof. It's over, Camilla. Vitelli and 3 of his top lieutenants. The rest have scattered or sworn loyalty to Rossetti, who's already pledged to honor our agreement. Then why do you look upset? Isn't this what you wanted? I wanted to do it myself. I wanted him to know exactly why he was dying. His jaw clenches. But it's done. You're safe. Rosa's safe. That's what matters. But there's something else. Something he's not saying. I can see it in the tension around his eyes. What aren't you telling me? He exchanges a glance with Marco, who nods and leaves us alone. Rossetti sent something with Vitelli's body. A message from before he died. Luca pulls out a photo. Hands it to me with visible reluctance. It's a woman, late 30s, dark hair, familiar eyes. Marina, alive. Vitelli had her, Luca says, his voice hollow. For 3 years, he had her in a safe house in Indiana. She's the one who told Rossetti where to find Vitelli, gave him the information he needed to make the hit. He takes the photo back, staring at it like he's seeing a ghost. My sister is alive, Camilla. And she's been a prisoner for 3 years while I did nothing. You didn't know. I should have known. He's shouting now, the control finally cracking. I should have kept looking, should have torn this city apart until I found her. Should have. I grab his face, forcing him to look at me. You did. Everything you could. And now you'll get her back. Where is she? Rossetti's bringing her here. Tonight. He's shaking, I realize. This dangerous, deadly man is shaking with the force of his emotions. 3 years. 3 years I thought she was dead. But she's not. She's alive, and she's coming home. Why didn't she contact me? Why stay silent all this time? I think of the ring on my finger, of the note that came with Rosa. The ring will protect you both when the time comes. Because she was protecting something, I say quietly. Protecting Rosa. Maybe protecting you. We won't know until she tells us. He pulls me close, his face buried in my neck, and I hold him while he trembles with relief and rage and grief for 3 lost years. She's going to love you, he mumbles against my skin. She chose you for Rosa. She'll understand why I chose you for myself. What if she doesn't approve? Then I'll remind her that she left me her ring and her trust. He pulls back, his eyes, red-rimmed but determined, and that I honored both by keeping you safe and falling in love with you. Marina Santoro arrives as the sun is setting, escorted by Rossetti's men and looking like she survived a war. She's thinner than in her photos, harder around the eyes, but unmistakably, Luca's sister. She sees him first, and the sound she makes, half sob, half laugh, breaks something in the air. They collide in the driveway, holding each other like they're afraid the other will disappear. I watch from the doorway with Rosa, giving them this moment, this reunion 3 years in the making. Finally, Marina pulls back, cupping Luca's face in her hands. You look terrible, she says, and laughs through tears. When did you get so old? When you died and came back to life. His voice cracks. Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you let me know you were alive? Because Vitelli had his men watching you. If I'd reached out, if I'd given any sign, he would have killed everyone I loved to punish you. Her eyes find mine over his shoulder. including her. You know about Camila? I know you found my ring. I know you protected Rosa. I know you kept faith with my last request. She moves toward me now, and up close I can see the family resemblance, same dark eyes, same fierce intelligence, same capacity for love that makes them dangerous. Thank you for taking care of her, for keeping her safe when I couldn't. She's my sister now, I say, and mean it with everything I am. I'd do anything for her. Marina's smile is soft, understanding. I know. That's why I chose you. You knew me? Before? We worked together. Years ago, at a different restaurant. She glances at Luca. You served me coffee every morning for 6 months. Always had a kind word. Always remembered how I took it. And one day I overheard you on the phone with a hospital, fighting about Rosa's treatment, promising to pay whatever it took. Her eyes fill with full tears. I knew then that if anything happened to me, you were the one who could protect what mattered most. Rosa. I breathe. She's yours. Mine and someone Vitelli killed to punish me for refusing him. Marina's voice goes flat. He took my daughter, held her over my head to control me. So I took her back. Left her with the one person I knew would die before letting anything happen to her. The pieces finally click into place. The ring, the note, the 3 years of silence. Marina hadn't abandoned her daughter, she'd saved her. Rosa has been watching from behind me, and now she steps forward, her small voice uncertain. Mama? Marina drops to her knees, arms opening. Mi vida, my life, I'm here. Rosa runs to her, and they collapse together in tears and laughter, and 3 years of grief finally ending. I step back, giving them space, and find Luca beside me. His hand finds mine, squeezes once. Thank you, he says quietly, for taking care of both of them, for being what this family needed. I love them. Simple, true. I love you. I love you too. He pulls me close, and we watch Marina and Rosa together, 2 halves of a whole finally reunited. This is what family looks like. Broken and healed and choosing each other despite everything. What happens now? Now we heal. We rebuild. We teach Rosa piano and give Marina time to recover and build something better than what our father left us. He kisses my temple. And we live, Camila. Actually live, not just survive. Together. Together. He turns me to face him, his expression serious. Will you marry me? The question steals my breath. What? I know it's fast. I know it's insane. But I'm not waiting another day to claim you properly, to make you legally and officially mine. He pulls out a ring, not Marina's. Something new, a diamond that catches the dying light. Marry me. Be my wife, Rosa's guardian, Marina's sister. Be my family. I should say it's too soon. Should point out that we've known each other less than a week. Should be practical and cautious and careful. But I've spent 3 years being careful. 3 years surviving instead of living. Yes. The word comes easy, natural, right. Yes, I'll marry you. He slides the ring onto my finger, left hand this time, next to Marina's ring on my right, and kisses me like he's sealing a vow that nothing can break. When we break apart, Rosa is watching us with Marina beside her. Both of them are smiling. About time, Marina says. I was wondering how long it would take you to figure it out. Figure what out? That she's the one who saves us all. Marina's eyes are knowing, understanding. Not from danger or death, but from forgetting how to be human, how to love, how to live for something more than revenge and territory. Luca looks at me, and there's such naked emotion in his eyes it makes my chest ache. She already saved me. The moment she walked through that door wearing your ring. 3 months later, the wedding is small, just family and the handful of people who matter. We hold it in the garden of the Lake Forest estate, which Luca has rebuilt and secured so thoroughly that even I feel safe there. Rosa is my maid of honor, wearing a dress the color of summer sky and a smile that lights up the world. Marina stands beside her, healthy again, whole again, ready to rebuild her life with her daughter by her side. Elena cries through the entire ceremony. Marco, the new head of security, stands stoic but pleased in the front row. Rossetti even makes an appearance, shaking Luca's hand and kissing mine with old-world courtesy. When Luca says his vows promising to protect me, honor me, love me until his last breath, I believe every word. When I say mine promising to stand beside him, to choose him every day, to build a life worth living together, I mean them with everything I am. We exchange rings, we kiss, we become, legally and officially, what we've been since that first night: family, chosen and claimed and bound by something stronger than blood. At the reception, Rosa plays piano for the first time, a simple piece, but played with such joy that it makes everyone cry. Marina sits beside her, adding harmony, and the music that fills the air is redemption made sound. Luca pulls me close as we watch them, his arms around my waist, his chin on my shoulder. "Happy?" he murmurs in my ear. "Terrified, I admit, and happy. And so in love with you it scares me." "Good." He turns me in his arms, his eyes soft. "Because I plan to spend the rest of our lives scaring you with how much I love you." Is that a threat or a promise? Both. He kisses me, soft and sweet and full of tomorrow. Always both. I think of the girl I was 3 months ago, exhausted, alone, surviving but not living. I think of how one phone call, one ring, one chance encounter changed everything. I think of Marina, who trusted me, with her daughter, and gave me a family in the process. I think of Rosa, who will grow up safe and loved and whole. And I think of Luca, dangerous and deadly and mine, who looks at me like I hung the moon and promised to protect me until his dying breath. This isn't the life I imagined. It's not safe or simple or anything like normal. But it's real, it's alive, it's ours, and I wouldn't change a single moment. 5 years later. Mama, come quick." I look up from the paperwork spread across my desk. I run 3 of Luca's restaurants now. Legitimate businesses that I've made actually profitable, to see Rosa sprinting through the house. She's 14 now, all legs and attitude, but still my baby sister in the ways that matter. "What's wrong?" "Nothing's wrong." She grabs my hand, pulling me toward the music room. "Come see." In the music room, Luca sits at the grand piano with a small boy on his lap. Our son, 3-year-old Antonio, named for both his grandfathers. He's plunking keys with chubby fingers while Luca guides his hands, teaching him the basics. Marina watches from the couch, her own daughter, 2-year-old Camila, my namesake, sleeping against her shoulder. This is family. This is what we built from blood and sacrifice and choosing each other every day. Luca looks up and sees me, and his smile is everything. Still dangerous, still capable of terrible things, but softened by love and fatherhood and 5 years of peace. "He's a natural," he says, and Antonio beams up at me. "Like his uncle," Marina adds. Marina would be so proud, but I think she already knows. Somehow, somewhere, I think she sees what we've become. The ring on my right hand, Marina's ring, which I've never taken off, catches the light. Sangue chiama sangue. Blood calls to blood. But family, I've learned, is more than blood. It's choice. It's commitment. It's standing beside someone even when the world falls apart and building something new from the ashes. "Play something," I say to Luca, settling beside him on the bench. He does a piece Marina loved, complex and beautiful and full of longing. Rosa joins in, adding harmony. Antonio laughs and claps, and I sit in the middle of it, all the music, the love, the family we chose, and know that this is home. Not the mansion or the wealth or the protection. These people, this love, this is what Marina's ring promised to protect. And it kept that promise. We all did. Together. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you loved this story, check out the other videos on your screen now. I think you'll really enjoy them. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. See you in the next story.